as a reminder, in our grand finals, this is going to be a best-of-3 match. A trainer needs to win 2 games in order to claim the title of Indianapolis Regional Champion. And it would be a huge feat for Arcel Puri to get his first and an 11th regional championship title for Wolfe. Are we going to see Trick Room set by Wolfe's end so you can play at the slower end of the speed spectrum with something like that Steelix?
Tyranitar does have a bit of an edge in this weather matchup here. Not only does it have the Sandstream ability before it Mega Evolves, but on top of that, it's just one of the best answers to Charizard in general.
They have that light screen on the Rotom. So what is going to prevail here? The sun from Arcel Puri, or is it going to be the sand from Wolfe Glick? One way to find out. Jumping into game number 1. Wolfe is going to be leading with the Steelix and Tyranitar. We're going to see the Garchomp and Venusaur for Arcel. So we'll see this Tyranitar make a switch out for now as the Talonflame comes in to take its place. Something else that doesn't necessarily want to end up taking any chip damage here from the sand at the end of this turn, unless it breaks its Gale Wings, but that's not going to matter when the Garchomp's going to do that for it. Sleep Powder from the Venusaur comes out into the Steelix, but that Protect keeping it safe for now.
And a huge turn from Arcel right off the bat. That's a lot of damage into Talonflame, and this Choice Scarf Garchomp, I don't think that Hospitality would even be enough to save the Talonflame.
Talonflame gets out of dodge. Sinistcha comes in to take its place, and there's not really anything to help to be hospitable to. Steelix is at full HP, but it's here to Mega Evolve. And staring down at the competition, Garchomp and Venusaur, they're looking onward as the Garchomp lets out another Dragon Claw, taking that Sinistcha down to about 2/3 of its HP, and the Sleep Powder hits. The Venusaur is accurate, and Steelix has got to take a nap on the job.
Still really keeping up that offensive pressure is Arcel. Another Dragon Claw into that Sinistcha does almost half when you count that sand damage. Is also packing Earth Power, a super effective special attack.
That would be one way to get through this giant defense stat on the Steelix. Another way that you can help to keep it in check is going to be with this Incineroar switching in. If the Steelix does wake up, it is going to be doing less damage since it took that Intimidate drop, but it looks like only a second Earth Power will be enough to knock it out. Steelix wakes up though, and it's gonna come in with a Heavy Slam under the Venusaur, just barely missing out on the KO. Can the sand damage pick up and finish up the job? Sinistcha sets up the Trick Room.
Twisted Dimensions mean that Steelix will be attacking first. The Sinistcha, the Incineroar takes sand damage. Venusaur barely hangs on that Intimidate, but I wonder if you would rather it get knocked out here so you don't have the sitting duck Venusaur on the field.
Charizard's actually going to come in and take the Venusaur's place, but you cannot take away the sand just yet. You're gonna have to wait for this Charizard to Mega Evolve on the next turn as the Incineroar is able to fake out the Steelix to prevent it from attacking on this first one. So now, with the Matcha Gotcha, great, you get a little bit of damage down, but the biggest thing here is that this Charizard's going to want to Mega Evolve and take away that Sand Force from the Steelix.
If it Mega Evolves, it will set up the Sun and threaten some very powerful Fire-type attacks, but Arcel has to be very careful about when he chooses to Mega Evolve, because if he does this one, and with that resistance on the Fire-type, Charizard can possibly stick around this turn without going for that Mega Evolution and try to fire off a Heat Wave.
You see the Tyranitar switch in for the Sinistcha, and there's only one turn of sand left. Is that going to get overwritten as we do end up seeing the Charizard stay on the field as another switch comes through? Charizard's actually not even going to Mega Evolve here. Great patience from Arcel to just let a Heat Wave through. Tyranitar takes that much better than the Sinistcha that would have been on the other side, as the sand is now expired. Half from that Earth Power from the Venusaur earlier. Still 2 turns of Trick Room remaining, though, for Wolfe to take advantage of, as the Incineroar swaps in for the Charizard. Wants to get a nice Intimidate drop onto both of these Pokemon, and Steelix lets out the Heavy Slam. Not going to be too much for this Garchomp to handle, though, as the Tyranitar is hoping to follow that up with a Rock Slide, connecting into both Pokemon. The Garchomp has yet to move. The Incineroar takes a lot as it switches in.
Without the sand, that Heavy Slam doesn't get the boost from Sand Force. Incineroar, after eating its Citrus Berry, will be relatively healthy, but Garchomp flinches from the Rock Slide. And to get off a crucial attack here, but it might be closing.
Steelix gets faked out though, knows that this is going to be a tough Pokemon to get through, especially with that physical defense, as Tyranitar goes for the knockoff. Barely misses the KO here, but you are actually getting rid of a pretty critical piece. The Choice Scarf removed from the Garchomp, letting it pick something else. It had locked into Dragon Claw on the turn before, and now you've gotten rid of that extra speed advantage the Garchomp will have outside of Trick Room.
But now in range for attack from any of Wolfe's Pokemon.
It's going to be the Sinister to come back in, because if there's anything that the Steelix can stand tall to, it's likely the Garchomp and the Incineroar. But can they actually withstand the full test? As wow, an interesting order of events here. It's actually going to be the Hospitality to heal up the Steelix before it switches out, and the Talonflame comes in to take its place. Sinistcha takes another Dragon Claw, letting itself eat its Citrus Berry after the damage that it's taken, and the Parting Shot into the Talonflame will drop its attack.
Smart order of swaps by Wolfe. I think you really wanted that Hospitality healing on the Steelix there to make sure it is healthy for later on in this battle. What Arsal's doing very well is using these Dragon Claws, guaranteeing that you're getting good damage out. If you're going for Stomping Tantrum on this turn, for example, you're either hitting a Grass type or a Flying type.
That will be happening on top of the recoil you will take from using either of those moves. It's going to be Incineroar to come back in. There was a -1 attack stat onto that Talonflame, make that -2, as the Intimidate will help that out too. The Sinistcha protects itself, knowing that this Charizard is going to be threatening something here. Talonflame does unleash a Brave Bird, and that's going to go right into the Incineroar, but that's not going to hurt as much as you wish it might have because of that -2.
Arsal also refusing to Mega Evolve this Charizard, continues to be very smart about conserving that resource. The Heat Wave coming through because of all those Dragon Claws into the Sinistcha would have been knocked out even without the Sun and the stats from Mega Evolving.
To your special attack output as well, but with this Tyranitar hitting the field, I think this might be the door that Arsal needed to be opened. Powder from the Sinistcha, is that something that might be able to protect this Tyranitar? If you are thinking that something like a Solar Beam might go that way. Sinistcha doesn't want to find out. It's going to switch out for Steelix now, come in and take its place. So then is this risky? Charizard is Mega Evolving. It's going to set the Sun. It's got Heat Wave at its disposal.
If Heat Wave comes through and knocks out the Steelix, the Sun will be up for the remainder of the game.
Let's find out what happens with this Charizard. It's got a couple of different options here, but we know one thing's for sure. Tyranitar is not going down on this turn. Charizard unleashes the Weather Ball, which is going to catch the Steelix on the switch in and knock it out.
I think Arsal just wins this game. Sinistcha cannot redirect attacks from Venusaur, and Charizard has a very clean Weather Ball into the Sinistcha for the remainder of this battle. A Earth Power from this Venusaur without that Sand special defense boost might be enough to just knock out this Tyranitar and get game 1 for Arsal.
I think you're right. The patience has been key here, as this Charizard is going to keep the weather sunny all day for the rest of this game number 1. If you expect that you're not going to be able to protect here or Rage Powder it away, Sinistcha is going to protect itself in front of this. But yeah, you're right. Your power just comes out and it's a knockout onto the Tyranitar, leaving the Sinistcha by itself to have to battle a 1v4.
I don't know if Sinistcha can do that, Rosemary. It's really powerful at helping its teammates out, but when it comes down to winning games on its own, not what you want to see. Arsal takes a commanding game 1 over Wolfe Glick, constantly pumping out damage and not letting these defensive switch catch you off guard.
Wow, and Sinistcha almost gets taken down by that final Sludge Bomb, but is nice enough to let its partner Charizard finish it up. Game 1 in the Masters Finals goes to Arsal Puri. I wonder if then you think about leaving the Steelix at home.
You have to wonder.
If you leave it at home and then you rely on the Mega Evolution of the Tyranitar, you do get to play a little bit more within the timing of the Mega Charizard on the other side, but it's still going to be a run back of the Tyranitar and the Steelix as we see the Garchomp and the Venusaur for Arsal.
Create some space for Arsal to not take much damage in the next coming turns.
We see Tyranitar protect itself as Steelix will do the same. It doesn't want to fall to a Sleep Powder, but you also get to scout for what this Garchomp is going to go for with its Choice Scarf, locking itself into Dragon Claw in the first turn.
I like that from Wolfe, just making sure you know what this Garchomp is trying to do. If by chance Arsal switches it up and tries to go for a ground type attack here, you have these 2 Pokemon, so it's a lot safer for Wolfe here. No Mega on Steelix though.
No Mega on the Tyranitar either. So it's going to be a Sleep Powder to put the Steelix to sleep and a Dragon Claw to bring this Tyranitar down to about half. Steelix has to take a mandatory turn of sleep, but Tyranitar has gone for a Dragon Dance to give it a bit of a speed boost for the next turn.
Wolfe taking a page out of Arsal's book and not Mega Evolving when the timing seemed right. Solution is very worth keeping it in your pocket.
Now you get your choice, as Incineroar is going to come in and make that decision a little bit easier. Intimidate drop onto both the Steelix and the Tyranitar, but you've got to figure out when the Steelix is going to wake up. It won't be this turn, as we do see that Steelix get back into its Pokeball to let some room for the Sinistcha to give a Hospitality Matcha boost to this Tyranitar. As Rock Slide comes out, it is faster than the Venusaur, might be able to get a flinch here, but more importantly, ends up getting some major damage down onto this Incineroar to bring it down into Citrus Berry range, and Venusaur does flinch. Tyranitar understood the assignment.
That's a huge bit of damage into Incineroar there. Hospitality boost.
Gotta protect yourself this turn though, because with that Incineroar switching in, you don't want to get faked out, and you also don't want to get earth powered on the same turn. Sinistcha going to protect itself too. This is scout out that this Venusaur really is going after it. Has its number there with the Sludge Bomb, as the Flare Blitz would have been a double up into that slot. If you want to just think about switching out the Sinistcha on this turn.
On this Tyranitar.
One turn of Sandstorm left, so will we see this Tyranitar actually give up this Dragon Dance boost? We won't. Incineroar is going to miss that Rock Slide as the Garchomp comes in to take that Venusaur's place. And that is a Pokemon you did not want to miss with that super effective Rock type attack. Leaves this Incineroar to go for the parting shot and drop this Tyranitar's attack stat.
Rock Slide gives and takes away. Missing that Incineroar means I don't know if it would have knocked it out if it did connect, but you do lose a lot of damage on that Incineroar, and you potentially lose your shot at that flinch on the Incineroar as well. Machagacha coming through into Garchomp has a chance to burn it, which could make it even more difficult for Arsal here, but it looks like it did not. A little bit of recovery there, and of course no damage on Charizard. This is where the Choice Scarf on the Garchomp is crucial. With that Choice Scarf, we'll still be able to outspeed Wolfe's Tyranitar at +1. Tyranitar is faster than the Charizard thanks to that Dragon Dance, but there's no Mega Evolution, there's a swap out. We're dropping that speed boost to give yourself a chance to attack with this Talonflame.
And Charizard's going to protect itself, so we will see this Garchomp actually go for Earthquake, something the Sinistcha is going to handle very well, and the Talonflame will be immune to thanks to that flying typing. Sinistcha, look at that. I mean, it's going to get another chance to go for like a Machagacha here and actually try to get a burn onto this Garchomp.
A burn, and maybe more importantly, some more damage to put it in guaranteed KO range for Brave Bird. That Garchomp takes a lot from that Machagacha, and now this Talonflame swapping in on a ground type attack would still have been slower.
Garchomp's going to switch out, knows that it's going to need to change up its move selection in the next turn, and is also a bit under threat. Intimidate to help drop the attack stat of that Talonflame. Maybe that's going to make this KO just a little bit more survivable. But Talonflame goes for the Swords Dance here. That's going to be a +1 Talonflame, and you're going to have to be a little scared of that one.
If Heat Wave connects, you at least get to break the Gale Wings on this Talonflame, and thankfully for Arsal, it does. But Talonflame is going to be the fastest Pokemon on the field still at -1, or +1 rather, and you have the option to potentially swap out that Charizard for Garchomp while you fake out the Talonflame. That still opens up an avenue for you to outspeed this no Gale Wings Talonflame, but the Charizard instead will Mega Evolve.
Still a Mega Evolution on the table for Wolfe on the next turn, but the Sun will be active at least for this one to start things off. Incineroar goes for the Fake Out, going to stop this Talonflame in its tracks, and so it's not going to be able to get a turn off for this one, but Charizard goes for Solar Beam. Is that a Tyranitar on the other side?
I think it is.
Charizard lets the Solar Beam rip. That poor Tyranitar is on the receiving end and gets one hit knocked out on the switch-in.
No more sand at all for this game. Wolfe loses Tyranitar to a huge call. That is a major Solar Beam there. Makes a lot of sense that Sinistcha did not want to take a Fire-type attack, but now crucially, there is no sand. There is no sand force for this Steelix. Steelix is also still asleep out based on how they're trained. Let's see.
Brave Bird with the Sharp Beak at +1 does actually get so close. 1 HP and a dream for this Charizard as the Heat Wave connects onto both. A KO on the Sinistcha, barely missing out on the KO for this Talonflame, but this Incineroar could follow up that Heat Wave with a Flare Blitz or a Throat Chop and knock it out. Flare Blitz is going to be the move of choice as Talonflame goes down, and Sleepy Steelix has to come in and try to win out this 1v4.
Charizard, the well-trained, taking that Brave Bird in style. 1 HP is the most exciting way you can survive there, and crucially connecting that Heat Wave on both targets, putting Talonflame into range for that Flare Blitz.
Wolfe was on the precipice of winning an 11th regional championship, but Arsal Puri had a different agenda. One Pokemon away from being able to capture the regional championship title that he has been dreaming of and chasing for many, many years. A Mega Steelix asleep. This feels like it's gotta be a job that is almost locked up. Charizard goes for the Weather Ball, brings it down to 1 HP thanks to the starting ability activating on the Steelix, but this Incineroar is going to finish it off. That's Arsal Puri, your first regional champion in the Masters Division. We're Pokemon champions.
style, taking out one of the best trainers of all time in Wolfe Glick with one of the flashiest plays we had seen on stream all weekend. That solar beam was a huge call out of what Wolfe was trying to do on that turn. Immediately taking out Tyranitar, it was going to be so hard for Wolfe to come back from that, and Arsenal kept his foot on the gas throughout those crucial heat waves after surviving that massive Brave Bird and locked his spot as the regional champion and at the World Championships in San Francisco.
That's such a big accomplishment. Not just getting the regional championship win, but Arsenal also earning a direct invitation to the World Championships in San Francisco.